All right, hey everyone, Sean Marshall here from the Reinvent Yourself series, and we're just about done with this series. I can't believe how fast this has gone. We're on the last, 12 hours or so of the replay where you still have a chance to go back and just watch as many of the interviews as you would like to watch. So last week I shared with you, I promised actually that I'd come back and share with you why I did this series, like what's underneath this series. So I'm going to share that with you. I think you'll get some value, not only one, knowing what's the intention with the series, but also to be able to put yourself in my shoes in your life and say, why am I doing what I'm doing? Or why do I want to do what I want to step into? So this will also help you define your own why, your own stand, your own vision, and your own mission. And you know what's interesting about this is every single one of the experts who you watched, I share this with them. We do a pre-interview, and that you never see. I do, for the 15 experts that I had on this series, I did probably 50 pre-interviews, and that's a one-on-one with the expert where we get to know each other a little bit. I share my story with them, how I got to be here. They share their story with me. I share the vision of the project with them, and then we see if it's aligned with their own vision and mission. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. So now I'm going to share that with you. So first, let me tell you, Jessica and I talked about this. One of the final interviews, Jessica, who's a good friend of mine, we talked about a stand, a mission, and a vision. And so let me share I'm going to share the bullet point version, and then I'm going to tell you how we got here, all right? For those of you that just like to get the info and get out. And then for those of you that like the story, I'll follow it up with a story. So here's my vision. And I've always had a knowing for I don't know, as long as I can remember, I've had a knowing that every single one of us has a purpose on this planet. I don't think that we just came here to float around and get jobs and pay bills and have fun. I think that's maybe part of it, but I also know, it's just a knowing that it deeply embedded in every single one of our cells is a mission that we're here to deploy. It's our own mission. It's a unique mission that we have. I've always known that. And so my vision is that we live in a world where everybody, or a larger majority of people, know what their mission is, their purpose, and they're living that purpose. That's the vision that I have for the world. And why? Why is that important? Because it just sounds like some airy-fairy bullshit when you stop there. Why that's important for me is when we have more people, let's just use the word more, right? Because everybody, or the majority of the planet, that's almost 8 billion people living their purpose. That's a big leap from where we are right now. But let's just say more, right? More people living their purpose. When we have that, there's a ripple effect for every single person that steps into their purpose. Every single person who's in their purpose, there's a positive ripple effect rippling out through their world. And that could just be a nuclear family where the mother, really realizes her purpose, and then she syncs up with that, and that ripples out through her family, right? Her kids see mom being joyful, seeing mom, take care of herself, seeing mom be healthy, seeing mom have fun, right? That ripples into the kids' lives. And when you, as a child, you have that as your example, it's more likely that you're going to model that when you grow up. And there's a ripple effect that you'll never actually see the full ripple effect, but it's going. Or on a larger scale, let's say somebody is a entrepreneur and they own several businesses and they have 80 employees, let's just say, throughout their businesses. And this entrepreneur is really on their purpose. They're doing what they're here to be doing. The impact on every person in their life, their employees, their family. It's a positive impact. They get to see their boss be joyful, on purpose, intentional, happy, probably personable, all these different things. So what I see possible for the world is a world where we're connected, a world where we're free, a world where we respect each other, a world where we allow other people to have their own viewpoint without interjecting ours. So a world where we actually listen to each other. And I think it's easier to get there when more of us are on purpose, when we're living our purpose. The ripple effect is huge. So that's my vision for the world. And I actually believe, call me crazy, I actually believe I can create that. I know I can. And you can too. You're part of that. And so how I'm deploying that is my mission, right? The Reinvent Yourself series, my coaching business. I work with people every single day to move them closer toward their purpose. If they're not in it yet, then we're moving them closer to discovering what their purpose is. And sometimes that's a quick thing. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, But as long as I'm moving, like how I measure my success at the end of the day, it's like, did I move somebody even an inch closer to their purpose? Then damn, that's a successful day for me. That's really a successful day. So that's my mission. I'm moving people into their purpose for that bigger picture vision of a world that works, to sum it up. My stand is personal leadership, because it takes a whole heck of a lot of leadership, personal leadership, to rise above your circumstances, which we all have. You have circumstances that stop you from stepping into whatever your purpose is. I have circumstances that stop me. And what it takes to rise above those circumstances is personal leadership, right? If you have a financial holdup where money's an issue of you getting the coaching that you need, it takes personal leadership to figure that out, right? The circumstance is a barrier, right? It takes personal leadership to figure out how to get over or around or under that barrier and not be stopped. So my stand is personal leadership. My stand is also personal responsibility, because we live in a world, in my view, where it's very, very easy and common to play the victim card, and actually to live in a victim state of being. It's very easy to do that. And let me prove it to you. It's very easy to blame COVID-19 for where you are in your life. It's very easy to blame your boss for having a shitty work environment. It's very easy to blame your neighbors for whatever you want to blame them for. It's easy to blame the government for you having to pay too much taxes, or whatever you blame the government for, right? It's very easy for us to blame people. It's easy to blame your parents for, shit that they put you through. It's easy to blame your ex for the shit they did to you. It's easy to blame your current partner for the stuff that they do. It's easy. And let's be real, just real. Sometimes it's fun to be a victim. I get it. I do it too. I fucking hate doing it. And it's fun. It really is. And it's also a cop-out, because when we blame, then we give all of our power away to whatever we're blaming. And so my stand is personal responsibility. And the way that I stand, follow me here for a second. I stand responsible for everything that happens on the planet. Everything. I stand responsible for it. It doesn't mean that it's my fault. It doesn't mean I did it. It just means that it's a stand. It's a position that I take in my life. Because if I stand responsible for everything, it eliminates the possibility of me being a victim. I can't blame. And if I'm not blaming, I have my power. If I'm being responsible, I have my power. When I'm being responsible, then it opens up something called curiosity. Curiosity to say, well, since I'm responsible, then what can I do to shift things? What can I do to change things? So you don't have that option when you're blaming other people or the government or whatever, right? And some of you have very, very good reasons why you blame other people for your circumstances, for your position in life. But here's the thing, is that you cannot have both. You cannot be a victim and have your life turn out the way that you want it to be. But what you can have is you can be responsible and you can have things turn out the way that you want to be. It's the higher road to go. It takes a lot more work, a lot more intention. But that's the only way that you have things turn out, your life turn out the way that you want it to be, is through responsibility. So I stand for that. One of the ways that it shows up is anytime I'm in a conversation and somebody is acting like a victim. I use the word acting because you're not a victim. Like you're not a victim, right? Like that's not who you are. You're whatever your first name and last name is, that's who you are, right? I'm Sean Marshall. So you can act like a victim, right? You can put that costume on and be a victim. So anytime that somebody in my space is being a victim and I'm engaging with that person or they're engaging with me, that's when I interrupt the conversation. Because I won't be in a conversation with somebody who's being a victim, because now they're sucking energy out of me. So that I will actually interrupt and figure out a loving but powerful way to have that person see the responsible version. And if they don't want to see a responsible version, I'm probably not going to talk to that person for very long, because that's now outside of what my mission, my vision, and my stand are. I stand for responsibility, personal responsibility. Personal responsibility allows you and allows me to realize what's my purpose, what am I here for, and what needs to happen for me to step into it, right? I said that personal responsibility a second ago. I said it opens up curiosity and it opens up possibilities as well. What's possible? I keep getting this message for whatever reason. People are short on money. Well, if you're short on money and you're being a victim about it, guess what's going to happen? You're going to stay short on money. I promise you. I will bet the house on that. But when you're short on money and you're responsible about it, now you have the ability to ask, what's possible? Okay, I get it. I don't have money right now, but what's possible? Fuck, anything's possible. It's possible that you have more money, right? It's possible, right? Play with me for a second. Is it possible that you have more money? I'm not saying, how are you going to have more money? I'm saying, is it a possibility that you can have more money? Just the possibility. And it is. Of course it is. Look out at the world. If you need evidence, look out at the people that are making money right now. That's evidence that it's possible. And the second you can grasp on to a possibility, then you can start to work your way into, well, what would it take for me to have that, right? What would it take for me to have that? That's a very different question than boxing yourself in and saying, I don't have something. I can't do something. Right? When we have that mentality, we're a victim, we don't have any power, and we're stuck. But when we get ourselves into responsibility and then into a possibility, we can find a solution. We're creative. Humans are creative AF, right? And when you're being responsible and when you're in possibility, you can find a creative way to create whatever solution you want to create. So I stand for that. I stand for responsibility, and I stand for personal leadership, because that's what it takes to get clear on your purpose and deploy it. And when you do that, that creates a world of people who are on purpose. And the more people that do that, the more positive ripple effect that's out in the world, and that's affecting everybody. So there you go. That's the bottom line for where the series came from. Now, the backstory to how I created the Reinvent Yourself series, is 8 months ago, roughly, we were in the election cycle. And the election cycle is really what woke something up in me where I said, I'm going to take this massive stand in a way I haven't taken before. And I know that you saw this as well, unless you were living under a rock. But during the election cycle, there was a lot of fighting, arguing, blaming, and the ugliest sides of our society, at least here in the United States, really came out, and the shit that I saw on Facebook. I'll tell you a few things I saw, and I'm sure you saw this. I saw a father and a son who I know battle with hatred back and forth, and they at one point had a great relationship. That's how I met them. One was a Trump fan, one was a Biden fan, and or one was a Republican, one was a Democrat, and they went at each other's throat online publicly. And I would be very shocked if they have a good relationship now. I also saw a friend of mine's mother, so she's a grandmother at this point. She's in her 70s, maybe pushing 80. The sweetest woman you could ever meet. She's in a community of mine of personal development folks, and I saw her torching people, absolutely below the belt, nasty, torching people. And I saw another one. I can't remember what it was. Just some pretty nasty stuff, right? And so as I'm seeing this unfold, I'm looking at it and I'm disgusted by it. I'm thinking, I got angry. It made me angry. And so then I went through okay, I'm angry, but that's not going to fix the problem. So from a possibility standpoint, from a responsibility standpoint, then I said, well, what can I do about it? And first I actually said, what do I want to see? What's my vision? My vision is that people learn how to connect, learn how to listen, learn how to respect one another, learn how to actually have curiosity. If you're on this side and you talk to someone on this side, learn how to put your own judgments and beliefs and all that aside and actually be curious as to why does this person believe what they believe? Why are they voting